Fowles, who has been dominant for the Minnesota Lynx, especially recently. So yes, what can Nneka Ogwumike give them on both ends of the floor?
These teams have met often over the last 3 seasons, between the regular season and the playoffs. In the last 20 games, an 11-9 series edge for LA, just a 23-point difference total. And their last meeting of the regular season was a 22-point LA win. So there was 1 point separating them in the combined 19 meetings prior to that. That's how tightly these two squads have competed over these last few seasons. Nneka Ogwumike and Sylvia Fowles to jump it up, and LA wins the tip.
Right away, keep an eye on this matchup, and LA takes advantage of it. Maya Moore will be guarding Candace Parker without Rebecca Brunson. In the lineup for Minnesota, they go with their small lineup.
And Candace Parker finished the season on a tear, 20 and 10 she averaged over her final 14 games, throwing 5.5 assists as well. Here is Moore getting tripped up on her first drive, and Maya Moore asserts her way to the line.
Right off the tip, LA is able to get the basketball into Candace Parker. Maya Moore is matching up on her, and right away at the other end we see something different as well. Candace Parker has the defensive assignment on Sylvia Fowles. That's usually Nneka Ogwumike's assignment. You wonder if it's because of the mono that she is not going to be starting banging with Sylvia early on.
Yeah, at least maybe parsing out the minutes that she'll have to jockey with Sylvia Fowles, as Moore misses the second free throw. It was a little bit of a down season for Maya Moore. Second lowest field goal percentage of her career. Fewest assists since her rookie season. Still averaged 18 points a game. Good enough for 9th in the league in scoring. Here is Williams. The pump, the take, no. And Fowles the board. She led the league, 11.9 rebounds per game. Set a new WNBA record for total rebounds in a season. Whalen thought about it. Lobbing in, Gray jockeying with Moore. Moore wins it to the crossover, and the floater is good.
Cheryl Reeve has to be happy because she told us before the game, which Maya Moore are we going to see? Are we going to see the one that's patient, that looks for the pull-up dribble, that looks, for the stutter step in order to get her shot off? Well, that's the Maya Moore we just saw.
A fluid movement,
yes,
as Cheryl Reeve said. Here is Parker trying to exchange it, pulled the trigger, and could not connect. It trickles out of bounds. Now Minnesota dealing without Rebecca Brunson, who's such a key piece for that team, Holly.
Well, that's right. She's the all-time leading rebounder in the WNBA, and they miss her on the boards. She suffered a concussion a few games ago and a partially fractured nose. She did go through a workout today at shoot-around for the first time, really exerting herself. She said she's not quite ready, but the longer they're able to go in the series or in the playoffs, the more she would be ready. So she's not counted out yet for this series, but not here tonight.
And you would think in order for them to have a deep run, they would need Brunson back at some point. Ogwumike able to finish. And interestingly enough, Rebecca, Ogwumike has been picking up Lindsay Whalen on the defensive side of things.
I mean, all kinds of different things we're seeing from Brian Agler defensively for this team in terms of the matchups.
Fowles gives it up. Zandalicini puts it down from 3.
And when the double comes, that's the player that's going to have an opportunity to hit it, is the weak side corner. So huge if Zandalicini can consistently drain the 3.
Are you excited about getting to say the name Zandalicini tonight?
I am, over and over.
That's a lot of smooth syllables. Gray's step back, rolls off. Rebound, that might have gone off Whalen. It did. It's going to stay with LA.
Sylvia Fowles is going to draw a double team because she is so difficult to defend single coverage. And so when it does, Zandalicini is the one left in the corner.
Zandalicini has played a more prominent role down the stretch as Minnesota has had to play without Brunson. Shot clock at 3. Parker fading away, can't put it in. And it's batted out of bounds by Ogwumike. Main difference between these teams during their regular season matchups, in which LA won 3 of the 4, was the turnover battle. Minnesota turned it over 74 times in those 4 games compared to LA's 39 times. As Augustus can't hit the jumper and the rebound smacked over to Beard. Gray cuts through traffic, can't get the roll, and Beard couldn't get the tip. LA 2 for 7 from the floor in the early going. Whalen probing for space, and she lobs it out of bounds. Turnovers have very much been the story in these matchups, specifically points off of turnovers.
I mean, just look at the difference. The game points off of turnovers was only 8. It was the only game that Minnesota won. When they take care of the basketball and don't have the live ball turnovers, they give themselves a much better chance to win.
And Cheryl Reeve talked about that as one of the keys, getting their defense set up in the quarter court, which is only possible if you're not turning the ball over. Foul on Augustus there as she went to link up with Candace Parker. Now, one other thing that Cheryl Reeve pointed out that was very interesting, we were talking about Minnesota not being the 1 seed, something they've been so often in recent years during this dynasty. And she said, you know, I actually think it's a good thing. I told our team, as Williams misses the jumper, why not have a different journey? Why do you want to just try and achieve the same thing with the same journey and over again? Let's add to the story. I don't know how the final chapter is going to be written, but we get a chance to pen it. And it is different this year. That's exciting. It's a new challenge. Augustus got smushed between Agumake and Gray. Shot clock didn't reset, and now it expires. Third turnover for Minnesota in the first 4+ minutes of this game.
I'm fascinated watching Minnesota in the quarter court offense because they're trying to figure out, Lindsay Whalen's trying to figure out how they can get an advantage in the matchup with Agumake on her, and they haven't been able to because she doesn't really have the explosiveness to go by Agumake because she's such an athletic defender.
Not a matchup she's used to either.
No, and to have the vision over a taller defender too.
Carson misfires on a 3, just entering the game for Raquana Williams. LA has missed their last 5 shots. And Augustus got hand checked by Beard, and that is going to be number 2 on Elena Beard, who is such a pivotal player always for LA, but especially in this matchup against Minnesota with what she does to Maya Moore.
And that's one of the reasons the rest of the matchups are so different for LA, because Maya at the 4, they still want Elena Beard, their 3-player, on her.
Beard stays on Moore even with the 2 early fouls. Moore elevates, can't hit. Parker the rebound.
You got to take it at her. When she's got 2 fouls in that situation, if you're Maya Moore, you want to try to pick up her 3rd.
Nice hands by Moore, who led the league in steals this year. Here is Moore. Nice leave, and Whalen lays it in. Timeout. Oh no, Los Angeles won't take one. It looked like Candace Parker might have been calling for one. Instead, Beard will handle the point for the Sparks. An 8-4 lead for Minnesota. LA just 2 of 9 from the floor. Gray tees it up and knocks it down from 3.
Candace Parker's such a handful that when she pump fakes and Maya leans towards her, 1 dribble off, help comes, and then that leaves Gray open.
That's a foul on Parker. 3rd team foul against Los Angeles, the 1st on Candace Parker.
Cheryl Reeve wants her team to start on the defensive end, get some easy looks out in transition. Maya Moore, Lindsay Whalen getting it done.
From the get-go, I'm catching and I'm trying to see where the double team's going instead of just attacking the double team, so I got to be more aggressive.
Thanks, Del.
Thank you, Holly.
Well, Sylvia fouls without a shot attempt yet. Does have 1 assist, and Minnesota the 1-point lead. Both teams struggling a bit offensively in the early going.
Now Tanisha Wright in running the point guard spot, and Minnesota's had success this year running pick and roll with Sylvia fouls, and here they try to run a set to get her the ball right away, but a turnover.
And then Parker turns it over in transition, or nearly did, as Beard was able to win it back. Brian Agler talked about the intangible being what will separate these 2 teams tonight, having to win the 50-50 balls, taking charges, executing the game plan. Gray tripped up, loose ball, out of bounds. Who did last hit? It last hit LA, Minnesota basketball. A reminder that this 1st round game is an elimination game. The 1st and 2nd rounds are 1-game elimination rounds. The semifinals are 5-game series, as are the finals. Seattle and Atlanta, the 1 and 2 seeds, automatic buys to the semifinals. Fouls, draws the double. Good movement here. Zandalicini can't hit that one. And the rebound on the weak side from Gray. Ogumake inside, working the block for 2.
She just buried Maya Moore and got such great position. And got a low-scoring game here, but that's kind of what we're going to expect. These teams talk about how well they know one another, and that sometimes turns into a defensive battle.
Cheryl Reeve joked with us, usually we feel good if we hit 80. Against LA, you hit 75, you play pretty good. How many games in the 60s these two teams play? Parker can't finish. Carson can, as she hung and tipped.
She can be a difference maker. If she's hitting her threes, if she's scoring from the perimeter and then making hustle plays like that, she can be a difference maker for LA.
And a quick timeout from Minnesota, an 11-8 LA lead, a 7-0 LA run. Essence Carson coming to the glass to tip it in for 2. The Sparks with a little boost off the bench. They've taken a 3-point first quarter lead. Taking a look at the upcoming WNBA schedule, brought to you by Ticketmaster. The WNBA playoffs continue Thursday. Second round playoff doubleheader on ESPN2. The winner of this game will face Washington. Then it's Phoenix against Connecticut. For more on these games and all playoff info, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app.
I like that half slate of games. Important shot for Tanisha Wright, because LA has been playing off her, leaving her for doubles, and for her to hit the 15-footer is important.
Ends a 7-0 LA run as Gray missed it left and short and out of bounds.
Going into that last timeout, both teams shooting in the 30s. We talk about teams that know one another, know how to defend one another. Might make for an ugly offensive game on both sides.
Cheryl Reeve's #1 point for her team tonight was the offense has to be efficient in order for us to win. As Ogumake did a nice job sparring with fouls, knocked it out of bounds. Cheryl Reeve, the all-time winningest playoff coach by far, 40 wins, 10 more than any other coach. Bill Lambier second on that list, and 4 titles in 7 years for the Minnesota Lynx. Zandalicini, a good-looking stroke, rolls off. Beard scrapes up the rebound. Lavender hits the jumper. And when Jantel Lavender gets her jumper going off the bench, so key for LA.
17 points in their last game against Connecticut.
Carson bats it right back to Wright. Five to shoot. Wright forces her way in, got it back, couldn't finish. Lavender there. Nice defensive stand from LA with Gray looking to push. Gray motoring, dishing. Lavender, no. And here comes Moore now, flashing the other way.
Great defense by Essence Carson.
Nice look from Moore, and Fowles able to finish on the move. First bucket of the game for Sylvia Fowles. A 13-12 game with a minute left in this first. Beard whips it out of bounds. LA turns it over, and Holly, LA has dealt with quite a difficult travel schedule of late.
Well, guys, they had an absolutely brutal day. They finished their game about 5 p.m. Eastern time Sunday in Connecticut. A 3.5-hour bus ride from Uncasville to the JFK airport. 5.5-hour flight to Los Angeles, almost 3,000 miles. They got here about 2 a.m. Players arrived home even later, and they have all been in rehab. They did not do shoot around this morning. Brian Agler very aware of, with some of his older players, the need for their legs tonight. And you see him already substituting very liberally early in this game, trying to find that energy.
There's not a more difficult road trip for a West Coast team than to go to or from Uncasville, Connecticut.
Yeah. No airport right nearby as Fowles got hooked. And Sylvia Fowles will shoot 2, and if it's Parker, it would be her second personal. And it is. So now 2 on Parker and 2 on Elena Beard. Key figures for Los Angeles, who will have to monitor their foul trouble for the rest of this half. Fouls. Difficult for LA to handle during the regular season. Hits the first. Shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the Lynx and the Sparks during their WNBA playoff runs. Choose from jerseys, t-shirts, accessories, and more. WNBAstore.com, one store, every team.
The new WNBA Nike gear is sweet. It's really nice.
It's dope, as the kids would say.
Yes, it's dope, Rye. Do the kids still say that?
I think so. This kid does.
Okay.
Sims working around Lavender. 2-for-1 opportunity goes by the wayside, but Lavender worked hard on the block, and she actually directed the pass over to Parker and eventually to her.
Well, Lindsay Whalen switched out on her, and as much as Lindsay Whalen battled there, you're giving up way too much size.
A 1-point LA lead. Neither team is led by more than 4 in this defensive first quarter. Rivalry renewed between the Lynx and the Sparks, who've met in the finals the last 2 years. Fouls gets free for 2.
Beautiful patience, beautiful pass by Lindsay Whalen.
Odyssey Sims will not put it up, and that's how the first quarter will end. No surprise, these rivals trading blows. 4th straight year, they're meeting in a winner-take-all elimination game. This time it's in the first round with a trip to Washington on the line.
Fan Stevie LeBeau let us know that Sylvia Fowles had the ball in the paint only twice in the first 9 minutes. In the last minute, she touched it 3 times and has the last 6 points for Minnesota. When she gets it inside, good things happen for the Minnesota Lynx.
In her last 4 games, she's been on a tear, averaging 24.5 points on 68% shooting. Minnesota starts the second with the basketball in this single elimination first round game. Winner goes on to play Washington as Fowles got a touch, couldn't finish. Here comes Parker. Sims, Lavender, Parker, Raquana Williams, and Essence Carson are the 5 for LA. Moore, Wright, Whalen, Fowles, and Fag Benley, the 5 for Minnesota. 6 to shoot, Parker. Multiple Lynx came with the dig, 3 to shoot. Carson short, rebound Whalen. Moore accelerates, hesitates, flips it in, and the foul.
We've seen Maya Moore be offensive-minded in the game tonight, and here it doesn't matter who's in her way. Hesitation, getting inside, finish, the and one. Very much in control and athletic looking tonight, and that's something Cheryl Reeve told us to look for in Maya Moore. And Maya Moore has had struggles this season against Los Angeles.
Average just 11.3 points per game against LA on 36% shooting. You see what she's done in elimination games in her career. Moore gets the handoff. Can't hit the 3. It was a little bit of a tough handoff between Fowles and Moore, and that's going to be a jump. Outstanding effort by Fag Benley underneath as she locked up Candace Parker.
Fag Benley getting more and more minutes for Minnesota, and one of the reasons is because of her aggressiveness, and you see it here. Right there, she could have let it go, but instead fights for the ball and gives a chance a team to get possession. All ball the whole time, too. She never was on Candace Parker's arm.
Fag Benley and Parker to jump it up. And it's double tapped all around. Minnesota wins it, so Fag Benley wins that possession back for the Lynx. Here is Fowles. Hawked by Agumake, and that is going to be a foul against Nneka, her first.
Now with the lineup that's on the floor, Agumake is on Sylvia Fowles. Trying to get in her vision. Swipes her arm just a little bit.
Nneka with 1, 2 apiece for Beard and Parker. Only 1 foul thus far against Minnesota. It went against Simone Augustus. Here we go.
Beautiful, beautiful cut by Maya Moore as Beard's trying to deny, and then a nice pass inside to her.
7 points from Moore, who, as you said, is just moving crisply, which is what Cheryl Reeve said would be key to know what kind of Maya would be in the arena tonight. Ogwumike somehow able to hook it around, fouls. And the foul goes against Sylvia. 2 free throws coming for Nneka Ogwumike.
Let's think about Nneka Ogwumike right here. I mean, she's battling mono, couldn't, play in their last game because of her fatigue. And what are we seeing from her tonight? First defending the point guard, then battling with Sylvia fouls inside, and now attacking the basket. It is remarkable what she's able to do considering what she's dealing with in terms of her health.
See, the last 3 seasons, 2016 was an MVP year for Ogwumike. And this year, missed 7 games, a career high. Had just 5 20-point efforts after 19 of them last season, but has battled mono the entire year and battled uncertainty, as Holly Rowe was telling us earlier, for a huge chunk of it when they didn't know exactly what illness she was dealing with.
Well, and the challenge moving forward is she can exert a lot of energy for this game, and then she may not be good for the games moving forward. There's really no treatment for mononucleosis, according to WebMD, except for rest. So that's going to be the challenge for Nneka Ogwumike moving forward if she's able to advance after this game.
And if they advance, they have to fly tomorrow. It's not like she can take a day to rest.
Well, right now, Temi Fagbenle and Minnesota trying to make sure it's them who advances tonight. Some good minutes off the bench for Fagbenle and a 7-point Lynx lead. Minnesota on a 14-4 run in the second quarter has a 7-point lead in the single elimination first-round game against LA. And the stars are out. Russell Westbrook, Thunder superstar, sitting courtside catching the action of the best rivalry in the WNBA, and so is Rajon Rondo, the new Lakers point guard. They'll be teaming up with Lonzo Ball, LeBron James. Plenty of talent here in LA in the first year of LeBron as the Laker.
LeBron James yesterday posting on Instagram, giving Diana Taurasi some credit, some love.
Taurasi was rocking some LeBron kicks as she always does. Gray lays it in. Taurasi has always been a LeBron sneaker player.
Yes.
Always.
Chelsea Gray, I mean, she's at her best when she can do that, when she can turn the corner, get into the lane.
Well, guys, that play right there doesn't surprise me at all, because in the last LA huddle, Brian Agler was all over Chelsea Gray. He's like, it's the same stuff all year. They score and you don't come down and run something. He got very frustrated with her and he said, you're going to be out. And I couldn't tell if he meant she's going to get out of the game or they'll be out of the playoffs. But at that moment, Nneka Ogwumike said no. She yelled no at the top of her lungs in the huddle. No, we're not out. She's not out. And they bonded together in that moment. They said, this is the run. It's over. Let's go.
Well, it started the right way then with the great bucket attacking the hoop. Great stuff, Holly. Fagbenle, another bucket. Temi Fagbenle with 6 points and some hustle plays off the bench for Minnesota. Ooh, that is a crucial foul. Nneka Ogwumike called for the illegal screen right after she was called for the loose ball foul. That's number 3 on Nneka Ogwumike.
Officials have been calling this all year and last year, and she gets right up into Simone Augustus. That's the right call. That's the hardest spot, because if you're moving, if you send a illegal screen there, everybody can see it. There's no other feet around you to obscure what you're doing.
Now with 6:49 to go in the second quarter, is leaving Nneka on the floor with 3 fouls the right call?
It's dangerous, because we've seen how important she's been to what LA wants to do defensively.
Augustus hits the fadeaway, and it's a 9-point Minnesota lead. These teams playing to a 5th game in a best-of-5 finals each of the last 2 years. LA winning 2 years ago, Minnesota winning last year. These teams also met an elimination game back in 2015 in the Western Conference semifinals. A game 3 of a 3-game series, which Minnesota won on their home floor. Gray curls it in, and Agumake puts it home.
You heard Holly's report. So what have we seen the last couple times down is Agumake going to set the screen for Chelsea Gray, as if to say, I got you. We know how important it is for you to get in the lane. I'm going to set the screen to get you there.
Augustus over to Moore. Moore trying to nuzzle inside on Gray, able to flip it in, and Maya Moore a little gimpy afterwards, holding at her left quad. Williams, quick first step right around Zandalicini, but couldn't finish, and it's out of bounds off of LA. As we take a look back at that Moore bucket, in which she came up a little bit hurt.
Maya Moore feels like she has the advantage on Gray, and you saw it right there. Gray's knee hit Maya Moore right in the thigh. Look at that. Look at that arc on that shot to get it over the defense.
Moore gives it up this time. Zandalicini run off the line, spins into the lane. Whalen finds a wide open Fagbenle for another bucket. And that's 8 off the bench for Fagbenle.
How good has Fagbenle been on both ends of the floor? We've seen her get a steal to a layup. She's finishing inside. She provides an athletic presence on the defensive end on Agumake. Huge minutes for her.
Last year didn't score more than 2 in any postseason games. Agumake follows it up and muscles it in.
Again, the sheer will and determination of Nneka Agumake.
Meanwhile, Candace Parker scored on the first play of this game, 7 seconds into it. She has not scored since. Moore's fall away is off. Fagbenle on the glass, and that's going the other way. As she went over the back, Temi Fagbenle called for the loose ball foul.
So much attention going to the other players for Minnesota offensively. Eyes turned, heads turned. Lindsay Whalen has the vision and sees Fagbenle wide open inside.
10 assists on 14 field goals for Minnesota. And Fagbenle, in her second year out of USC, was a 3-time All-Ivy League player, then transferred to USC and was all Pac-12. Agumake got tripped. And Nneka Agumake, I believe, is going to shoot 2 here.
Nneka Agumake doing a great job of staying in attack mode on the offensive end. She tripped, and I don't think that was a foul. Defense has the right to move their feet. It didn't look to me like Fagbenle tripped Nneka Agumake. Did it look like that to you?
No. Shooting foul, though, and Agumake will have a chance to add to 10 points already in this half. That's also the 3rd foul on Fagbenle. And now Sylvia Fowles is going to come get her outstanding minutes for Temi Fagbenle, who wants a little explanation on the trip and gets a nice high five from Cheryl Reeve as we check in with Holly.
It's been very interesting to see Cheryl Reeve as she knows she has to turn the page on some of her veterans and start developing these younger players. Temi Fagbenle has been the one that she is investing a lot of time and energy into. Sunday, we were there for shoot-around, and for almost 30 minutes after the Lynx shoot-around, just a one-on-one conversation on the side of the court with Cheryl Reeve and Temi. Reeve sees the promise and the potential in her, and she's giving her so much one-on-one attention when she has the opportunity to start building for that future. This is the end of an era for this dynasty, potentially, and they've got to start looking towards the next dynasty.
Well, to your point, Ollie, we know that Lindsay Whalen's career will end when this Lynx playoff run ends this season. And that core 4 has been intact for a while now. Past 7 seasons, which has garnered 4 championships. Of course, Sylvia Fowles, the other member that wasn't there in the beginning but has been key over these last 2 titles, as Agumake lays it in on a nice delivery through traffic.
Chelsea Gray and Agumake, those are the 2 who have made a difference for the LA Sparks here in this quarter.
Agumake has scored the last 8 for LA. She has 14 in the half. Parker on the bench right now for the Sparks. Moore flings it out. Right. No. And Gray, the weak side rebound. Here comes Gray. No look to Lavender for 2. And Chelsea Gray is fired up. Minnesota wants a timeout. as Gray has gotten cooking here in this second quarter.
Chelsea Gray averaging 7 assists a game against Minnesota this season. Adding to it here in this playoff game, finding her open teammates as she always does. Nice finish.
At 8:30 Eastern, who will face Washington, the 3 seed. That depends who wins this contest between Minnesota and LA, with Seattle and Atlanta waiting for a best-of-5 semifinals. Nneka Ogwumike with 10 of LA's 14 points in the second quarter. Minnesota hit their first 3. They're 0 of 6 since, as Whalen makes it 0 of 7.
Minnesota looking to get Maya Moore on a post up there. She gets doubled. It's going to be imperative for the Minnesota Lynx perimeter players to be able to hit from the perimeter like Chelsea Gray can.
A bomb from Gray, and it's a 2-point game.
Again, that play from Chelsea Gray doesn't surprise me, because in that last LA turnover, or in that last LA huddle, Candace Parker got up in Chelsea Gray's face and said, "This game is on you. When you get that ball on your hip, they can't do anything with you." Chelsea Gray has been the impetus here, and Nneka Ogwumike finishing at the rim right there. This is all Chelsea Gray, Nneka Ogwumike.
It is indeed. 12 in the quarter for Nneka. Gray has been orchestrating a 13-2 LA run, has eliminated an 11-point deficit. Tie game. Final 2 minutes of the half. Whalen with 1 to shoot, floats it up, no, and a shot clock violation.
And LA has gone on this run offensively. And we'll get a chance to take a look again at Chelsea Gray's deep 3. But they have gone on this run offensively because on the other end of the floor, they are keeping the ball out of Sylvia Fowles' hands. They are keeping the ball away from Maya Moore. And the other perimeter players from Minnesota simply cannot make a perimeter shot.
Game tied at 34. Gray cuts through the lane, lays it up, and in!
Minnesota can't guard Chelsea Gray. And she is taking advantage of that fact. In fairness, there's a lot of teams that have had difficulty guarding Chelsea Gray this year.
LA down 11 just moments ago, now has a 2-point lead, a 15-2 run. Whalen looking for an answer and finding one. Could this be the final night of Lindsay Whalen's career? The winningest player in WNBA history. Here's Sims, her floater, too strong. Whalen the rebound. Up ahead, it's Moore, already with 9.5. Moore at a poke from behind. Nice hands by Sims, and then Moore fouls Gray. Minnesota over the limit. Free throws for Chelsea Gray. Seven points in the quarter for Gray, 10 in the game. She has 4 assists so far this game, 3 of those in the second quarter.
The game where Candace Parker has been quiet, only 1 for 4. Nneka Ogwumike, Chelsea Gray have been the difference for the LA Sparks.
The WNBA playoffs continue with second round action on Thursday. We'll have another doubleheader on ESPN2 starting at 6:30 Eastern. It's the winner of this game against Washington, and then Phoenix taking on Connecticut. Both games also available on the ESPN app. Wide open tournament this year, too.
Oh, I love it.
Last couple of years, we've known it would be an upset if it wasn't Minnesota and LA. This year, one of those teams goes home tonight as Augustus muscles her way into a whistle. Foul called against Gray. 2 free throws for the 4-time champion and 8-time All-Star Simone Augustus. We talk about the uncertainty with the future of Minnesota, not just because we know this is the final postseason run for Lindsay Whalen, but we also don't know how much longer Simone Augustus or Rebecca Brunson will be in a Lynx uniform and contributing.
And how much longer they can be productive.
Brunson unable to play today as she continues to recover from a concussion. Heard Holly tell us earlier that Brunson went through more of a workout than she had, and so hoping to come back at some point soon in the postseason if Minnesota goes on a deep run. 2-for-1 opportunity here. Ogwumike just got her paws on it, then forced the pass. turns it over. Whalen bursting ahead, will back it out. Good position inside, and then Fowles was stripped by the defensive wizard Beard. Shot clock turned off. Gray with 2 seconds. Gray floats it up and gets the whistle. Chelsea Gray.
Chelsea Gray likes the matchup when Lindsay Whalen is on her and she crosses over, gets inside, lots of help comes, and Sylvia Fowles knocks her to put her to the free throw line. Wow, how impressive has Chelsea Gray been in this game since she was challenged in that timeout by Brian Agler.
Now 10 in the quarter. Well, you heard Holly perfectly document just how direct Brian Agler's challenge was to Chelsea. Then how Candace Parker kept the inertia going by saying, this is your game, it's on you, and Gray has answered the bell. 11 points in the quarter, and since Minnesota led by 11 with 6 minutes to go in this half, LA ends the half on a 19-5 run, and they take a 3-point lead into halftime. It's always fun when these two teams meet. And
but they got it from Chelsea Gray in that first half. I mean, she's just been stellar. She's challenged and she responds, and Brian Agler has to be thrilled with the way she played in the second 10 minutes.
Ogwumike and Gray accounted for 23 of LA's 25 second quarter points. LA as a team held Minnesota just 5 points over the final 6 minutes of the half. And now can Minnesota refine their rhythm? They had built an 11-point lead. Here is Fowles, deep catch, draws 2, trying to work her way through it, and that's going to be a jump.
And once again, you see the double team coming from Ogwumike. She's defending the point guard, Lindsay Whalen, but can leave her to go down. I mean, how much attention can you give Sylvia Fowles? And here, what makes the double team so tough is it's two bigs. It's 6'4" and then 6'4", whatever Ogwumike is coming down. It's much more difficult than when you have a small guard coming down to double.
Candace Parker and Sylvia Fowles to jump. And it's LA who wins it after Fowles batted it. Here is Parker. Throws it away. Whalen the steal. Parker scored the first bucket of the game 7 seconds into it. She has not scored since. But Ogwumike and Gray have been terrific. There the hands from Ogwumike. Beard the shovel ahead. Williams to the rack for 2.
And this is how Los Angeles can bust it open, is converting live ball turnovers to easy buckets the other way.
LA now shooting 50% for the game. Xanda Lassini finds Fowles, and that's going the other way as Ogwumike takes the charge.
What Ogwumike is doing on both ends of the floor truly is remarkable. And here she comes in as the help defender, holds her ground, draws the charge. It's a player who couldn't compete 2 days ago because of her mono.
And now performing at the highest level against peak competition. That time loses it out of bounds. Well, Brian Agler told us when we asked him to fill in the blank, you will win tonight if blank happens. He said, if we win the intangible battle. And one of the first things he mentioned within the scope of intangibles was taking charges.
Yeah.
Said 50-50 balls, taking charges, executing our game plan. Things that don't necessarily show up in the box score, but that are separators when these two teams meet. Xanda Lassini shoots it over the double, can't finish. Here comes LA.
She couldn't finish because of the help defense of Ogwumike.
Gray draws 2, finds Beard. No. And it tilts out of bounds to Minnesota. Minnesota Lynx and the LA Sparks, with much different regular seasons this year, they've been the top 2 seeds the last 2 seasons. Buys to the semifinals and then meeting in the finals. This year they meet in a single elimination first round game. Winner will face 3-seed Washington Thursday night on ESPN2. Minnesota with just 5 points in the last 8 minutes of game action. Agumake had it stripped. Zandalicini took it away. And Beard got poked in the face on the other end. Beard went for the reach in and instead somehow received contact from Zandalicini. And an offensive foul against Zandalicini. And they could look to review this for a possible upgrade.
We'll have to see it again. I don't know what they could possibly upgrade it to.
Is there anything unnecessary or excessive about that to you?
No, I think it's just what your arm does when you run. Your arm goes back when your left leg goes forward, and so I think, you know, it's fair for them to call the offensive foul, but I can't imagine it being an upgrade.
You know, as we look at this, we should say thank you to Shelley Russey, who does such a fantastic job informing us and has over the last few years about what goes on, both the NBA and WNBA, when it comes to officiating, keeping us abreast of all rule changes and intricacies. And in this case, I'm sure Shelley would have said, oh, that's a common foul, and that's what the officials have just communicated to us.
Yeah.
And Elena Beard, that was a little dicey, reaching in and taking a chance. She's playing with 2 fouls, got through the first half with just 2 after she picked them up early. But she is such a key player when it comes to defending Maya Moore.
And Maya Moore went off early, but she has been quiet since.
9 points in the game, 4 of 8 shooting. Here's Williams.
Well, you know, Maya Moore has always struggled a little bit when she's being defended by Elena Beard, last year's Defensive Player of the Year. Elena really just locks in on Moore, and I talked to Maya about it today at shoot-around. She said, I have to be on high alert every moment when I am facing Elena Beard, and I have to be more efficient on offense. So Maya has to move better, cut better. I haven't seen it so far.
There, Williams on the steal. She might have gotten away with a double dribble there. Like Williams had already started dribbling, and then unless there was contact, then made her lose it, which could have been the case. Parker amongst 3 got locked up by Whalen, and that's a jump. As Candace Parker just trying to find a shot somewhere, has not scored since 7 seconds into this game.
And right now the difference is Minnesota's done a pretty good job limiting Candace Parker, but other players have stepped up. Agumake has been huge, Chelsea Gray has been huge, and on the other side, now that Maya Moore and Sylvia Fowles have been limited, who's going to step up for Minnesota? We haven't seen it yet.
They're without Rebecca Brunson. Whalen didn't even bother to attempt to win the jump against the much taller Parker as Gray floats in a 3.
So who is it? Who from the perimeter for Minnesota is going to step up here offensively? Is it going to be Whalen? Is it going to be Augustus? Is it going to be Zandalicini? Who?
Parker the hands, fouls the insistence to the rim. A much-needed bucket for Minnesota. A 6-point lead for LA. These teams meeting in an elimination game for the 4th straight postseason as Williams sticks the landing on a tray. Augustus across her body, misfired. And the rebound ends up scurrying over to Whalen. And that foul's going to be on Gray as Augustus tried to force her way offensively.
LA and the options that they have on the offensive end from their guards. First, you see a deep 3 from Chelsea Gray. Then we see one from Raquana Williams. They have the ability to really drain it from multiple positions on the perimeter.
The bench enjoying it. Backdoor, Moore gets loose for 2 on the pass from Fowles. 11 points now for Maya Moore. Fowles the only member of the Lynx, in addition to Moore, who's in double figures. Gray, she got it! Another for Chelsea Gray.
Don't hurt him, Chelsea Gray. I mean, come on.
20 points for Gray. She's 4 of 5 from deep. Right, run off, stops, tried to get it to Fowles, instead found Agumake. Gray zips it up the floor. Williams, you bet! It's all going down for Los Angeles. Timeout, Minnesota.
LA has been feeling it in this third quarter from the perimeter. Raquana Williams in on the action one more time. Agumake saying, all right, I see you, young guck.
Let's take a look at tonight's American Express teammates and their great play tonight. LA on fire from deep.
LA has extended this lead because of their ability to hit from the perimeter. Chelsea Gray, Raquana Williams have been absolutely phenomenal, have not missed from the perimeter in the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. Both of them feeling it.
Chelsea Gray with 20, Raquana Williams with 8. Minnesota's backcourt has a combined 7 points. Minnesota 1 of 9 from 3. They've missed their last 8. LA 6 of 10 in this game. And Minnesota just has 7 points as a team over the last 9.5 minutes. That rolls off. Fowles working hard underneath. Got stripped. Gray controls.
LA's defense has been stifling. They've kept the basketball out of the hands of the primary offensive weapons from Minnesota.
That would be Moore and Fowles.
Exactly.
See, we finish each other's sentences,
I know,
partner.
we're at that point.
Lavender threw it off the dome of Fagbenle. Agumake couldn't finish. It's out of bounds off of Minnesota with 14 to shoot. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, the leading scorer for the LA Sparks, Candace Parker, is on the bench right now. I just overheard her tell their trainer, Courtney Watson, their athletic trainer, when I was running down the floor, I felt like I was going to throw up. You can see her getting her temples massaged right now. She's not exactly sure what's going on, but she is not feeling like herself at this moment.
All right, Holly, interesting information and perhaps a reason why she has not been her normal effective self. Chelsea Gray and Nneka Agumake, though, have shouldered the load. Fowles, puts it in off the delivery from right.
What a pass. What a pass to throw it up towards the rim, because at 6'6", Sylvia Fowles can get it where others cannot.
And even though LA's been able to survive without big production thus far this game from Candace Parker, you wonder if they'll need it at some point and if Minnesota can take advantage with Parker on the bench. Lavender can't hit the 3. Rebound Fagbenle. Here comes Wright. Tanisha Wright gives it up. Xanda Lacini. Six to shoot. Good look from Fowles. Fagbenle didn't really have her feet set for that jumper.
But again, great defense by LA. Make somebody other than Fowles and Maya Moore take the shots.
Gray has the switch on Fagbenle. Gives it up off the double. Williams gets the roll off the 3.
And we'll say it again, the difference is that the others for LA are hitting their shots from the perimeter. The others for Minnesota have not been.
LA now 7 of 13 from 3 as a team. Moore connects, and boy did Minnesota need that. 14 now for Moore, who may have to just take over if the Lynx are going to be resuscitated. Beard zips in, flings it up wildly. Here comes Wright. Wright sees Moore streaking to the rim, denied by Lavender. Here comes LA with numbers. Chelsea Gray tried the no look, could not connect.
That was a beautiful pass, just Lavender wasn't ready for it.
Fouls working on Agumake, and she's fouled from behind by Lavender. 2 free throws coming for Sylvia Fowles. Hey, shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the Lynx and Sparks during their WNBA playoff runs. Choose from jerseys, t-shirts, accessories, and more. WNBAstore.com, one store every team.
Ryan, I've heard that gear is dope.
You've heard right. Do they have fleeces? Are they available?
I think they still sell fleece.
Yeah?
Fleeces.
Did we determine what the plural form of fleece is?
3 or 4 years ago when we did that promo, I don't know if we did.
Are you now making fun of my memory of the promo? It held a dear place in my heart. Whalen and Augustus back in. You wonder, Rebecca, at any point during this game, does Lindsay Whalen start to think about how this could be the final time where she's so in tune to the action that those sort of macro thoughts don't approach? I
don't think those macro thoughts are there. I think you're just trying to figure out what to do possession by possession.
Lindsay Whalen saying winning that game Sunday and then turning the page to the playoffs did sort of stabilize and normalize things for her after what was an emotional and busy week. Parker back in, finds Gray. Short that time. Parker the rebound, 3 to shoot. Parker fading away. No. Minnesota within 9, trying to crawl closer before the end of this third. LA's led by as many as 14. Wright gives it up. Here's Augustus. Augustus floats it up and in. Savvy bucket from Simone Augustus. Gray letting some clock wind. She has 20 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Gray gives it up. Carson. No. Rebound fouls and an opportunity here for Minnesota. A 7-0 run and a chance to build on it. About a 2.5-second difference game in shot clock. Whalen, her jumper is good. A big pump of the right fist from Cheryl Reeve. The Lynx are alive. Carson blocked by fouls and a whistle with 0.2 of a second remaining in this third. And a momentum whistle there. LA a chance to end the 9-0 run.
Essence Carson knows how much time is left on the clock, takes it in. Man, that's a whole lot of nothing to me.
That's a big call.
That's a big call.
Carson hits the free throw.
Smart take by Carson, you know? Take it in, get challenged, try to get the foul call. The worst that comes is, you know, you get blocked, and heady play by her.
Minnesota has won elimination games each of the last 2 years on this floor in Game 4 of the WNBA Finals, facing a 2-1 deficit. Cheryl Reeve still barking about that call at the end of the quarter as Carson goes 1 for 2 and Minnesota ends the third on a 9-1 run. The core 4 not done yet. 6-point game as we head to the fourth of an elimination contest.
Welcome back to Los Angeles, here with Sparks head coach Brian Agler. And coach, you told us that you have lamented the last couple of games, the inability to close out games. What has to change right now that the lead is shrinking?
Well, I think you sort of saw there when we had a big lead and then we get careless with the basketball. And then they get in transition and score easy. So, you know, it's decision making, it's poise, it's understanding the moment. And so we've got a lot of ways to go there.
You challenged Chelsea Gray in a huddle earlier in this game, and she really responded. What were you asking her to change, and what did she respond with?
Just keeping our team organized offensively, you know, not just run up and down the floor, because you're playing against a team that's got a lot of experience in these moments right here. And so if we get in a hurry and don't make them defend, they're going to come down and score on you and make us defend at the other end.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Colin.
And what's interesting is that now Chelsea Gray is not in the game, as you see the offensive foul by Sylvia Fowles. So it's going to be up to some younger players, Raquana Williams and Odyssey Sims, to lead the charge offensively for LA.
Quite literally.
Yeah, right. I mean, we've talked about bigs stepping up and setting these screens, and Sylvia Fowles is moving. That's absolutely the right call, and Odyssey Sims runs into that pretty hard.
3 fouls on fouls. No player in this game has more than 3 fouls. In fact, Bentley have 3. Agumake has 3 for LA. It's Sims, Raquana Williams, Essence Carson, Candace Parker, Neko Agumake, the 5 for LA. Waylon Augustus Wright fouls, in fact, Bentley, the 5 for Minnesota. Williams shaking, heaving, hit it.
Great athlete. And she has the ability to do that, break you down, going side to side, and then elevate over you.
I remember Brian Agler telling us recently, when Raquana Williams hits 1 or 2, she's the kind of player you just see the confidence grow and the shots fall more frequently. That's happened tonight. She's 5 of 8, 13 points, 3 of 4 from deep. And there deflects the pass out of bounds. Ryan Rucco, Rebecca Lobo, Holly Rowe with you. The beginning of this WNBA playoff odyssey. We appreciate you hanging out with us. This is a single elimination first round game. The winner will go on to face Washington on Thursday. Nice entry feed. Waylon to Fag Bentley. Phoenix took out Dallas earlier tonight. And Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, DeWanna Bonner, and Phoenix will face Connecticut on Thursday. Seattle and Atlanta wait for the semifinals. Williams has another.
Can't guard her. Minnesota right now simply can't guard her. What a game for Raquana Williams. 10 of LA's last 12 points.
Could this be the final quarter of Lindsay Whalen's career? Here's the other point guard, right. She connects. It's a 6-point game, 2 minutes into the 4th. These teams meeting for the 21st time over these last 3 seasons, including the regular and postseason. Sims lost her footing, out of bounds. And that's going to stay with LA. That certainly looked like it last hit Sims if it wasn't a foul. But it'll stay with LA. Hey, Sports Center tonight after Cardinals-Dodgers on ESPN with Steve Levy and Kenny Mayne. Love an Astros-Mariners update with Jose Altuve returning from the DL. Plus, Chris Berman on one of the worst Dodger losses ever. And a conversation with Phillip Rivers. Sports Center after Tuesday Night Baseball on ESPN and the ESPN app. Here's Moore. Nice crossover, getting around Beard. Beard got back to her. The double comes hard. Who's open? Waylon finds Wright. 10 to shoot. Back to Waylon. She'll try a 3. And hit! Lindsay Whalen knows exactly what to inject when the Lynx need it. It's a 3-point game.
Cheryl Reeve told us Lindsay Whalen has the ability to do right now what the team needs. She is going to be important to Minnesota these last 7 minutes of the game.
Williams wants another. Not that time. Minnesota has climbed back from a 14-point hole. Down 3. More to tie. Too strong. Another chance. Waylon. Into fouls. Working on Agumake. Wanted a whistle. Didn't get it. A little surprised Whalen didn't pull the trigger from 3 there.
Wasn't feeling it.
Parker still with just 2 points this game. It was the game's opening bucket. Agumake swivels it over to Beard. She got it. Much needed jumper for the Sparks.
That's her spot. Elena Beard loves the baseline J.
First field goal of the game for the 4-time All-Star Beard. Another dramatic game between Minnesota and LA. Whalen couldn't get that one and almost looked a bit reticent to fire. Gray finds Beard. Gray's 3, around and off. Beard claws the rebound and will fling it back out. Entry pass knocked away by Moore. Wright tries to lob it into Moore off one leg, too strong.
What hustle.
Benley for the second time tonight wins a possession over Parker for Minnesota. The Lynx take a timeout. Reeve applauds the effort. It's a 5-point game with 5:15 to go.
Leaders are do your job, but also how can I encourage? How can I look out and lift the whole group up?
There's certain things that leaders do that are similar across the board. Giving 100% effort, doing your absolute best, being selfless.
Now that I'm that person on TV, I know that there are little girls out there, and you got to keep passing the torch. You know, you got to keep encouraging, because we just want to make this female population even stronger.
When Minnesota and LA meet, great basketball ensues and usually dramatic finishes. That could be on tap tonight, as Minnesota has taken a 14-point deficit, shaved it down to 5 with 5:15 to go in this fourth quarter. Last time Minnesota was eliminated in the first round, you have to go back to 2004 versus Seattle.
Before the fourth quarter, you heard Holly Rowe's interview with Brian Agler, and he talked about it a lot before the game as well. We need to learn how to close out games. Up 5 with 5 to go. Wow, what a move by Sylvia Fowles.
And a great play out of the break for Cheryl Reeve's squad. 16 points, 11 rebounds for Fowles. 10 off the bench for Tammy Benley. 14 for Maya Moore. Chelsea Gray leads all scorers with 22 after that bucket.
We're talking to Lindsay Whalen this morning. She said one of the things that's going to determine the game is who executes better after timeouts. Good execution for both teams after that last timeout.
Right, wiggling around. Benley lobs it in. Fowles has the position and the finish. Fourth straight year these teams playing in an elimination game. Minnesota has won 2 of the previous 3, including Game 5 of last year's finals. Williams can't finish it. And a chance to tie with a 3 for Minnesota. Here's Benley. Patient. Moore. And she threw it away. Thought Whalen was dipping to the corner, and she stayed towards the wing. 15th turnover for Minnesota.
Chelsea Gray has been able to figure out a way to make her mark. We saw it big time in the second quarter. And then on the other end, Sylvia Fowles, when she catches inside, watch out, she's going to finish.
Gray, the crossover, she got it. That is deadly. 24 for Gray. Minnesota looking for a response. Moore can't give it to him. Gray the rebound. 2 times in this fourth quarter, Minnesota has had the ball, down 3, unable to score. Gray in control, using the Agumake screen, and a foul against Minnesota.
Chelsea Gray is so deceptive when she has the basketball in her hands because you don't feel like she can get you with her quickness, but look at that. Change, pulls the ball up, and her ability to hit contested mid-range jumpers is as good, if not better, than anybody else in the league.
Well, Chelsea Gray has been very difficult for the Lynx to stop for the last 3 seasons. She was coming off the bench and really had her coming-of-age party in the finals against the Lynx 3 years ago. Then she worked her way into the starting lineup after the Christy Tolliver trade, and she has not looked back. They have just not ever found a way to really contain Chelsea Gray in their series together.
No, and an all-star now each of these 2 seasons that she's been a starter. As the fans in LA applaud the effort winning a second possession. Gray forces it up. Not that one. And the rebound to Fowles. Here comes Moore, flinging it down the floor. Whalen barrels in. Can't finish. The tip is good. From Tammy Fagbenle. It's a 3-point game again as Cheryl Reeve encourages effort. Agumake kicks it out. Carson, short. Short. In this single elimination, first round game, Moore got hacked. And 2 free throws coming for Maya Moore to try and make this a 1-point contest. Don't go anywhere. 156
has been their inability to close out games, reinforcing to his guards, take care of the basketball, be solid on the defensive end, close out the game.
And that's why LA is a 6 seed rather than a 2 as they've been the last couple of years, as Moore misses a crucial free throw. Minnesota a 7 seed rather than a 1 as they've been in recent history. Moore misses both.
1 of 5 from the free throw line, Maya Moore.
That is shocking, an 83% free throw shooter. And those are critical misses. Had a chance to cut it to 1. Gray will take. You bet! That's what she does. Cold-blooded Chelsea Gray. She has 26 in the game. Fouls, lost it. Last hit her, I believe it's LA ball. They can review it in the final 2 minutes.
We talked about it, contested mid-range jumpers, and Chelsea Gray, her ability to drain them time and time again. The bigger the stakes, the more important the moment, the more likely she's gonna hit it.
Vivica A. Fox loving it. So are all these Sparks fans. A 5-point LA lead, 1:23 to go in the 4th, and they will look at this to see who it went out of bounds on. Originally ruled off of Minnesota. As you see, it hits the back leg of Sylvia Fowles, and I don't think it hits any LA player afterwards.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, does it hit Agumake, the top of her shoes? I don't think it does. Or does it?
Ooh, maybe. Well, that might hit the left shoe of Nneka Agumake. On that angle, it looked like it very well may have. Remember, the call on the floor is LA ball, so you need incontrovertible evidence in order to overturn it.
Clear and conclusive?
Yes.
Or incontrovertible?
What's
like
the
your
language? Better. Yeah.
So here,
ooh, looks like it redirects off her foot, right?
It does, yes.
I would say that's going to be Minnesota basketball.
Think that's incontrovertible, Ryan?
Feels like it. How about Maya Moore in this 4th quarter? 0 for 3 from the floor, 0 for 2 from the line. Here's a closer look. Oh no. Or does this hop right over the foot?
Ooh, goes right over. Right, that looks like there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure you could change the call on the floor from that.
Would that be controvertible?
and they'll also check on the clock. I mean, that does not feel clear and concise.
I agree. I think it's going to be LA basketball.
Can we say definitively it didn't hit Agumake? No, I don't think so. But I don't think you can say definitively that it did either.
Correct.
And a crucial call with 1:23 to go in the fourth in a 5-point game. Taking a long look at this one.
That super close-up looked to me like it was the best angle to determine it.
Minnesota Lynx have cut this to 3 4 times in the fourth quarter, but no closer. And one of those times was Maya Moore missing not 1 but 2 free throws.
And the 2 of the other times was Maya Moore missing a 3 and then Maya Moore missing a jumper. Minnesota's getting the player they want to take the shots that they want. At least in those certain circumstances.
That's been a theme this year with LA against Maya Moore, holding her to 11 points a game on 36% shooting during the regular season. She has 14 points tonight on 6 of 14 shooting. This is one of the great decorated champions in the history of women's basketball. This is a long delay.
An LA fan just went over and it looked like she was yelling at the officials about how long it was taking to make this goal.
I mean, but at this point, if you don't know, right, then is there anything clear or concise?
To me, the best angle was still that close-up where it looked like the ball bounced over Agumake's shoe.
Now a conference.
This is almost like when you trip on the sidewalk and you go back and look at it as if something jumped up and grabbed your foot, but there's nothing there. Like, there's no reason to keep looking at this.
Yeah.
You gotta have your decision by now.
And it's going to remain after that lengthy review, LA's basketball. So 1:23 to go, LA up 5. They've ridden Chelsea Gray down the stretch of this game, 26 points on 9 of 17 shooting. Ball in her hands. A trip to the second round on the line tonight. Minnesota, the defending champions. LA, the runner-up last year. Gray maybe got away with a carry. 6 to shoot. The cutter is Agumake, and she got fouled. Nneka Agumake will shoot 2 as LA milks clock and now has a chance to add 2 points.
Great activity by Nneka Agumake to cut down the lane, to get the ball and put herself in a position to get to the line.
Plenty of timeouts remaining for both teams. Agumake with 16 points. It was her charge in the second quarter that helped bring LA back. The WNBA playoffs continue Thursday. We'll have a second-round playoff doubleheader on ESPN2. As the winner of this game will face Washington, who's been red hot to finish the season, 6:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Phoenix will take on Connecticut following that. For more on these games and all playoff info, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. 18 points for Nneka Agumake. We will step aside. 7-point LA lead, 1:02 to go. Lindsay Whalen, the all-time WNBA playoff assist leader. She is the all-time winningest player in WNBA history. And she could be playing her final 62 seconds of basketball in the WNBA, Holly. Benley hits the 3. A big bucket for Minnesota, looking to extend the career of Whalen and the season of the Lynx It's a 4-point game with 52.4 seconds to go.
The ball in Lindsay Whalen's hands. Time to make a decision. She gets guarded. How about Fag Bentley with another big bucket?
Big three from Minnesota keeps this game alive for the Lynx. 4-point Sparks lead. 52 seconds to go in the fourth. Winner of this game will advance to play Washington in a single elimination second round game. Chelsea Gray has been the horse for the Sparks. Here is Beard, clock winding, back to Gray, 10 to shoot. Gray gives it up. Williams, corner three, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds to Minnesota with 32.9 to go. Lynx with 1 timeout remaining and control of the basketball. Where does Cheryl Reeve and Lindsay Whalen go here, Rebecca?
You still got to look to ride Maya Moore and Sylvia Fowles. Either one, get the ball to them. You don't need a 3, you can get a 2. Those are 2 important pieces.
Here is Whalen, 30 seconds left, crowd on its feet. Fag Bentley hit a 3 last possession. Searching for help here, finding it in Moore. Moore's 3 is way off, out of bounds to LA. And the frigid fourth continues for one of this game's greats. Moore yet to score in the fourth.
She wanted the basketball. She came to get it. Great defense by the Sparks, as we've seen all game long. Smothering forces Maya Moore into a very difficult shot. We've seen her make those, just not in this fourth quarter. Minnesota has to go for a steal, and then quick foul as soon as LA catches the basketball. Try to lengthen this game as much as possible.
LA on the brink of advancing. Minnesota perhaps staring at the final seconds of their core 4 together on the floor. Ogwumike not fouled yet. Now she is, has 3 seconds wilt off the clock. And Nneka Ogwumike will go to the line. Rebecca, this gives us an opportunity with LA having an excellent chance to advance at this point to just pay off what has been an unbelievable run in Minnesota. 4 championships in 7 years with Whalen, Brunson, Augustus, and Moore a part of all 4. Fowles a part of the last 2. You see what this dynasty has done. And at least Whalen won't be a part of this team after this season, and perhaps advance it to the front court here. Cheryl Reeve, emotional all last week whenever talking about her relationship with Lindsay Whalen. Was so happy with the way things went Sunday in Minnesota for a final regular season game. We'll see how it finishes up here. LA looking to advance. The steal from Williams, the foul from Minnesota. And that is going to about do it. The LA Sparks 8 seconds away from advancing to the second round.
Only fitting that it happens on the defensive end for the LA Sparks, because they have been solid on that end of the floor tonight. Brian Agler, can we close out games? Yeah, you can close out games. And they haven't been able to consistently do it this season, but they sure done it tonight when it matters.
Williams hits the free throw. Minnesota out of timeouts. Lynx once had an 11-point lead in the second quarter. Chelsea Gray and Nneka Ogwumike took over. And the Sparks defense locks down the Lynx. Whalen will put it up and out, and that will do it. The Los Angeles Sparks take down the Minnesota Lynx and are headed to the second round. As the Lynx are eliminated in the first round for the first time since 2004. And one of the all-time great winners, Lindsay Whalen, walks off the floor for a final time.